you've ever tried a carry with a Ruckless Bikini Carry chest pass, you probably noticed that depending on what video you're watching, which tutorial, some of them will, when they bring the chest pass across, bring the bottom rail of the chest pass up over the top rail to flip it, and then other tutorials will bring the top rail down over the bottom rail to flip it. And because you see both, it may seem like the flip direction doesn't matter, but then you go to try it and the bikini won't spread right. It just ends up looking like a chest pass with a pinch in the middle. And I wanted to explain why the flip direction does matter and why you see both. So the way I typically wrap Ruckless Bikini Carry chest passes is by bringing the bottom rail, in this case on my right side, I'm bringing the bottom rail up over the top rail to my left and making that next pass over baby. So in this case, I'm just going to pin this out of the way so you can see what I'm talking about. So at this point, it just looks like a badly tightened sweetheart chest pass with a twist in the middle. But then when you bring this other over shoulder tail up over the chest pass and then up through the middle of it, and either complete the carry with another pass or tie at the shoulder for a short finish. Get that out of the way. I'm not actually tying a knot, I'm just trying to get this out of the way. Then you'll notice that the bikini chest pass spreads wide over this shoulder to shoulder chest belt and looks like a bikini. But then sometimes when you try it, depending on which way you flip it and which way you feed the tail through, you feel like you're doing the exact same thing as the person in the tutorial video, but suddenly you end up with a chest pass that just pinches in the middle, but you can't get it to spread at all. It's just a twist that won't spread. And the reason for this is that when you're originally wrapping this flipped chest pass, you're not making a flat twist. What you're making is a channel for this shoulder to shoulder chest belt to go through. And so when I bring the bottom rail on my left up to make the top rail of my right, and that's the outside rail, you see this top rail on my right going to the bottom rail on my left is on the inside underneath. Then I'm making this channel, you can see, that goes from the outside of my body to the left towards the inside of my body to my right shoulder. And so this isn't a twist in a chest pass. This is actually on this side, it's a flat chest pass. It bends over the chest belt and makes another flat chest pass over here, which means that the weight of the chest pass is equally distributed over the width of the chest pass. So it all takes equal weight, which is what makes bikini chest passes so functional as opposed to just decorative. But to get this to work, I have to get the shoulder to shoulder chest belt to go from the outside on the left side of my body towards the inside on my right side, which means going over the top of the chest pass and then back up through towards my left. And then it spreads. If I were to wrap this like I was wrapping shepherds, where you have this over shoulder tail pinned underneath the chest pass when you do it, and then you just bring it up, this tunnel of sorts is still going from the outside on my left to the inside on my right, but this tail, making the shoulder to shoulder chest belt, is going from the inside on my left to the outside on my right, perpendicular to the tunnel. It's not going through the tunnel, it's trying to go across it. And that's why it doesn't spread, it just twists. But this is why in some tutorials the flip goes the opposite direction, because if you intentionally wrap over the over shoulder tail pinned between your knees, then you're going to bring the top rail of the chest pass down over top of the bottom rail, which creates a channel or a tunnel in the opposite direction. So then this channel, I started my chest pass on the right side of my body, and it goes from the outside on the right towards the inside of my left shoulder, and it runs this way. So then this tail that was pinned between my knees just comes up from under the chest pass to secure, and it spreads nicely. But if you were to wrap it under the pinned tail and bring it back up through, like the previous method, again, you get that twist, and it won't spread at all. So I like to think of it as like hanging a sheet over a clothesline. If I can get this back in place so you can see. A lot of people like to think of it as trying to pull these passes down over your breasts, and they think that the breast shape is what keeps it spread, and it's not. It's like spreading a sheet over a clothesline. If you imagine throwing a sheet over a clothesline and it's all bunched in the middle, and just spreading it out over the clothesline so that each side is hanging neatly on either side of the clothesline. And what actually keeps it in place is the tension of the rails, wanting to make this nice straight line from one armpit to the other side under your breast, trying to make that straight line in both directions makes it spread out, whereas this middle is left quite loose. So that's what keeps it spread. So I hope that makes some sense why bikini carries spread, why the flip direction matters, how to determine which direction you need on the flip, and most importantly, if you were to wrap it the wrong way, you know, I was wrapping, I meant to pin this tail under the chest pass, and so I wrapped it with the top rail going over and becoming the bottom rail, but then I forgot to pin it and I have it going the wrong way. It's fine. Instead of having to completely rewrap the chest pass, just bring the tail back through the opposite direction. If it doesn't spread, just try moving that last tail instead of having to completely rewrap the whole carry. Hope that makes some sense. Hope that clarifies some things and makes your Ruckless Bikini Carry chest passes that much better.